recognized symbol of excellence for your entertainment.
Oh yeah, I'll tell you something.
Welcome to Machino Music, the show that puts some music in Machino music, with your host, me, Brett Strong. Today on Machino Music, it's the group that started it all. They were kind of the Big Bang. It's the Beatles. Okay, here we go. The Beatles. This is very exciting. You could call them the Big Bang of rock music in a way, because, they started it all. Without the Beatles, so many bands would not exist. British Invasion, here we go. Got a few records here, just going to go through these. Twist and Shout. It's a very early album. A lot of these sort of compilations. This is some of their earlier songs. This is Anna Go to Him. That was Al Bundy's song. An episode of Married with Children. The original version, not the Beatles version. Yeah, Please Please Me, Love Me Do. Their cover of Twist and Shout. She Loves You. This is like the early poppy Beatles. There they are on the back. The lads. Paul. Ringo. George. And John. Remember those names, people. Here's a Beatlemania compilation with the Beatles. Beatlemania with the Beatles, as if you need to be reminded who started Beatlemania. And this isn't that cover group Beatlemania. This has a lot of the same tunes on it, although there's a lot more covers on here. We got a cover of Please Mr. Postman. Got Chuck Berry tune Roll Over Beethoven. Classic. Got Smokey Robinson, You Really Got a Hold on Me. So a lot more cover tunes on this compilation here. But there's some Beatles originals, ones that have deep cuts on here. It Won't Be Long. All I've Gotta Do. All My Lovin' was a big tune. Don't Bother Me. Yeah. Okay, I'll show this one, because I showed this on my soundtrack albums. This is the Magical Mystery Tour. Yeah, so I've shown this one already, but it's just such a cool album art. That back, it's just so cool. And it's got the, the fold-out photos, sort of comic book style. Scenes, screenshots from the motion picture. Really cool. Yeah, just love this. This is like them putting out packages like this. The Beatles were kind of the first to do this, put out these kind of really cool packages. Here's a classic album. Of course, Revolver. Sometimes I could say this is my favorite Beatles album. It's like a perfect album. Every song on this is great. And I sometimes say this is my favorite Beatles album, although I'll get to my favorite Beatles album in a bit. But Taxman, great George Harrison tune. Eleanor Rigby. Yellow Submarine, which is a song so synonymous with Ringo's Starr. In a way, kind of want to, even though Octopus's Garden was like Ringo's song, but Yellow Submarine, that was Lennon and McCartney who wrote that tune. But it's sort of one of those Ringo songs. When I saw Ringo Starr live, he performs with his all-star band. He does Yellow Submarine, and it blows the roof off the dump. So maybe that's kind of why I think of it as a Ringo tune. And it's got that kind of fun, whimsical, Ringo-esque, kind of thing. She said. Yeah. Great deep cuts on here. Yeah, such a good one. On the back. I saw that this is neither here nor there, but there was a porno movie from like 1986. Yeah, 80s porn. Here we go. The movie was called Games Couples Play. And there was one scene where like the couples, doing the deed, they're getting it done. And you can see like records in the background, and you can see Revolver. So everybody had Revolver. Yeah. There you go, a little bit of trivia. Revolver, the classic Beatles albums, in the background of the 1986 porno classic Games Couples Play. There you go. We got Rubber Soul classic album. I've Just Seen a Face, great song. Norwegian Wood. Michelle was on here. In My Life, beautiful song. So great. Yeah, love it. Put out that cigarette, Paul McCartney. But look at that. They're so cool. The Beatles. Ringo looking really kind of sullen in this picture. See that? He's just... Sometimes Ringo, you get the impression he was just happy to have a job. I mean, underrated drummer. A lot of people say, Ringo was what a stiff he was. But, he didn't have to be John Bonham. He didn't have to be Keith Moon. He just needed to be there, happy, keeping the beat. That's all he needed to do. And he was great at that. That was his role. He was so good at it. Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. This is a classic. I mean, so many great songs on here. Fixin' a Hole, one of my favorite Beatles tunes. Love that one. A lot of really fun lyrics. I mean, who wrote lyrics like the Beatles? I mean, again, they started everything. I mean, everybody wanted to be the Beatles and write songs like the Beatles. Yeah. When I'm 64, really funny song. Here's the insert here. They all had mustaches for this. Let's all grow mustaches, they say. I thought George kind of looked the best with a mustache. He just had, I don't know, he looked better with a mustache. Ringo looked good with a mustache and a beard. John didn't look good with just a mustache. He kind of needed a whole beard. And Paul, he was the cute Beatle. People were like, "Are you covering your face with that mess? All that mange? What are you doing, Paul?" So there you go. Classic. And all the famous people in this album cover here. You got W.C. Fields, you got Lenny Bruce. Jimi Hendrix is in here. Actually, no, Hendrix is not. That was on the Frank Zappa. See, Frank Zappa and the Mothers of Invention did We're Only in It for the Money and spoofed this, and Jimi Hendrix is in there. Yeah, there's no Jimi Hendrix on here. But, I got Laurel and Hardy. Marilyn Monroe was in there. So, that. This, I would say, is my favorite Beatles album. The White Album. It's just so good. It's like a double album. So many classics. While My Guitar Gently Weeps. Classic George Harrison tune. George, I think, is my favorite Beatle. He was just cool. Guitar player. I play the guitar, Everybody's Got Something to Hide Except Me and My Monkey. Great underrated tune. Happiness is a Warm Gun. My favorite George Harrison song is on this album, Piggies. Just that funny, satirical song making fun of rich people. Have you seen the little piggies? This still has all the inserts. This is really cool. Look at this. This is so cool. Look at that. Well, that's what you needed to see today. Naked John Lennon talking on the phone naked. They don't know. The person on the other side's like, you know, I wonder if he's naked. This also has these headshots. These 8x10 glossies. Look at this. There's Paul. Looking a little disheveled. It was like he just woke up. The legendary round glasses. Ozzy Osbourne would later do the round sunglasses because he wanted to be John Lennon. There's Ringo. Look at that photo of Ringo. Glamour shot if I've ever seen one. Big mustache. Again, the man's just happy to have a job. Could have been Pete Best. This could have been Pete Best. I mean, say what you want, but Ringo was just the right guy. He was perfect. And there's George. Again, looks best with the mustache. He looked the best with the mustache. It just fits him. So there, this is like really cool. These 8x10 glossy white album. This is embossed. So it's like, this is actually the self-titled album, just The Beatles. This embossed tells you so. But everyone just started calling the white album, so it's just the white album. Here's some 45s. Gotta show these. Really cool. Of this Let It Be 45 on the Apple label. Beatles' own label. These are all originals, as far as I know. Yeah, really cool. There's Paul with a beard, of course. The flip side here is You Know My Name. Look up the number. Some deep cuts. Yeah, this is really cool. Another Let It Be single. It says Get Back. And the flip side is Don't Let Me Down. I was looking at the side that said Get Back. That's why I said it first. And you were looking at it says Don't Let Me Down. I'm probably holding it upside down. But yeah. You can look through these. Make glasses out of 45. What the hell am I doing? Okay, now this one is this is a Lady Madonna. A Capitol label. This is the flip side is The Inner Light. George Harrison tune. Some deep cuts. That's what they put on the B-sides of these 45s. They usually put like a song, they'll play the hit side, but then the smart DJ would flip it over and play the B-side. The B-side was always some kind of deep cut normally.
Shrevey, who cares about what's on the flip side of a record?
I do!
But, you know, people just, I want to hear the beat, I want to hear the hit song. Paperback Writer, one of my favorite Beatles tunes. Love that song. Yeah, love Paperback Writer. Flip side on this is Rain. Again, smart DJ. We played Paperback Writer to death. Let's flip it over. Let's play Rain. Nowhere Man's on this one. And flip side is What Goes On. Yeah, Nowhere Man's a great tune. But let's flip it over and play What Goes On. Yeah, so there you go. That's just a pile of Beatles records I was to find. I mean, the Beatles were just, they changed everything. The British invasion wouldn't have been anything without the Beatles. And so many bands from all genres of music were inspired by the Beatles. I mean, a lot of people who do say, oh, the Beatles are overrated, whatever, like, that's fine. Because new generations, probably this music is not going to resonate with them the same way as it did previous generations, and that just happens, that's like with everything. But even now, you still hear the music of the Beatles, and you go, wow, like nobody was writing like this. I mean, 4 guys who could write, play music. They could sing, they could do everything. There's never going to be another band quite like the Beatles. That's it for this week. Until we meet again, this is Brett Strong saying good journey.